Kendall doesn't know any about all the other stuff yet.
Are we ready?
I'm gonna give you all the documents. I'll redo it. I'll give it to you. I've got to pull them out right now. Let's do it after. Let's not be in a hurry.
Welcome everyone to our business meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. We're located at 47 South Main Street in Tooele. We're on the third floor and we're in Suite 306. The current time is 4:18 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, where we'll have Councilman Tom Tripp lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Repeat with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we have public comment, if the council will allow me, I have something to discuss before that. Is that all right, council? Yep. So we see Councilman Tripp's family in the audience. Thank you for coming. This is Councilman Tripp's last meeting that he'll have with the county council here. There is and I can't quote it exactly, but Winston Churchill had a statement that he once said that there'll come a time when every person, figuratively, will be tapped on the shoulder and will be asked to do something that is great and significant, that is precisely with their talent, their skill, and ability. How unfortunate it would be if that time comes and you are unprepared or unwilling. Well, this is just the opposite, where Councilman Tripp is willing, was able to serve in Grantsville. He saw a need there in his own surrounding community and ran, which if anybody's ever ran for an office, it's not the most pleasant opportunity or time, or it could be. And he put his own time, effort, funding, and served there. And then saw a need here at the county and loved the county so much where he also did that. And so tonight, as the chair, it's my honor, along with the other council members, to recognize Mr. Tom Tripp serving as a county councilman. And we have, Councilman Wardle, do you have that from, would somebody be willing to take a picture for us? Read it to him.
Liz, do you want to come up, please?
So this is let me just say this. Yeah, this is a flag that we received from the congressional delegation, a flag that is flown, and
Flown over what?
flown over the Capitol building, I believe, and so, of the United States. And so this float has been flown over that and is now, hopefully will serve on your table or as remembrance of your service. And just as much it should be recognized as Liz, who supported her husband in these late nights, in these confusing times, and sometimes frustrating times, and I hope some joyful time too. So both of you, thank you.
Very good.
We get all the council in as well?
Yeah, please.
Take Brittany's phone away from her.
No, come on, get
Come on, Brittany. Come on, Brittany.
We're gonna squeeze.
It's his day.
Yeah.
Brittany, you get the other side of the balance.
I don't know if you guys care, but yeah, the thing sign, the OCD in me that says if you can
Mark,
just.
this way.
Yeah.
Take 2 steps to your right.
This council has never seen that.
Don't step on. And we were
Don't
like Ken
smush
over on.
this. Perfect. Just a little thing.
Is that better?
Yep, and he's standing right under that seat.
Can you look this one, Ty?
On him first. Okay, now me.
Are you doing a video, Tim?
I already did the video of the flag. Ready? 1, 2, 3, look at me. Don't look at Tim, don't let him steal my thunder.
No, look at her.
I use your eyes.
Try and get one where you're just staring at her.
Got it.
Of course. That's the way.
That's Ben, my son, my youngest son.
Ben, we want to recognize this is your dad, so thank you for coming and supporting him. Oh, he has other family members online. Did you notice that, Tom?
Only now. Only now did I notice. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Just a personal note, I truly am grateful to serve with Tom and his mentoring and his wisdom and his willingness to share of his knowledge and his effort. Anything that, as far as I've been serving as a chair, would ask of him, he was willing and ready to go and serve happily. So, again, thank you.
Thank you.
Council, any other comments?
I have plenty of comments.
Brief comments.
You know, one of the things, and I have to say thank you, Tom. Number one, you've been a great person to debate and work ideas through with, and I've loved that. And I think it's an incredibly important part of the public process. Number two, though, I would not be sitting here without Tom Tripp, because there was no way on this earth I would have ran for this position on my own. And we had some very good discussions that helped me realize some things that were very important and things that are very important value-wise that we needed to continue and uphold. So thank you. I appreciate it, and hopefully that we'll carry on a legacy of service as you have done so. It's been appreciated. Liz, I keep my $2 bill from you. It's still I still have it, so.
Chair recognized Councilman Thomas.
I just about brought a picture of 4 years ago. Tim took the picture in our office upstairs when the three of us ran for election and re-election. And I still hold that picture. It's at our house, our home, and I see that picture all the time. And to you, Paul, thank you for being a good partner in that 4 years. And also to Tom, I say, Tom, I appreciate, I'm going to probably miss you more than anybody. And I've really, really enjoyed working with you in the effort of service, challenging discussions many times, but we always come to a good outcome. So thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Please. Chair recognizes Brittany Lopez.
I just wanted to publicly thank Tom for believing in me and seeing something in me and giving me the opportunity to grow here and continually educating me on the form of government and our friendship, and always complimenting my hair. So thank you.
You never complimented me on my hair.
I'll change.
Thank you. Okay, with that said, our next item is public comment. So I'd like to open it up to public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make a public comment? Again, thank you. I have the sheriff's hand up. Is there anybody else? I have Allison's hand up. Recognizing that this is only a comment opportunity, so it's not a question answer. With that said, is 4 minutes sufficient? Sheriff? We heard your sirens out there too, by the way.
They were nice.
Well, I come to you more as the sheriff versus a citizen of the county, but as a citizen as well. Thanks for the RV. It's very nice. And it was not an easy decision, and it's a very costly resource, but we thank you for it. And it's a resource that will serve the citizens and keep people safe for the next 25 years in all likelihood. And so I want to thank you for that publicly. Then I want to thank you for the work on the budget. This council accomplished some things within the budget that's been challenging in years past. When I look at what you've done for the family medical, that was probably the #1 complaint we had on exit interviews for many, many years, and you guys have fixed that, and I thank you for it on behalf of my staff and I'm sure all the employees that appreciate that reduction in that premium expense to them. And then a COLA reflective of inflation, something that I can't help but thank Allison for putting together the data that she shared with you. But at the same time, that data is of no value if you guys do not act on it. And this council acted on it. And as a result, it shows the staff that you understand the hardships that we're going into with inflation and we're experiencing with inflation, and your empathy and toward the staff is felt and recognized. And so I want to thank you for that. And then Tom, it's been a pleasure, and I want to wish you and Liz all the best into your retirement. I don't picture you being the guy that's going to be fully retired ever, but it's been a pleasure working with you, and it was, as miserable as campaigns are, it was a pleasure to campaign with you on the campaign trail as well. You kind of develop bonds with those that are chewing on the same turd sandwich you're eating on. And I know Eric and I have had the opportunity to do the same, and you know what? It doesn't matter how many campaigns you do, that sandwich still tastes the same, and it's not very flavorful. So I just want to shake your hand, and I'll sit down.
Thank you, Sheriff. Auditor Allison McCoy.
All right, Council, I just have two things. First and foremost, I just want to congratulate Treasurer Mike Jensen. He was awarded Treasurer of the Year by UAC. And so I think that that's something that we need to give a hand for. Mike was selected out of the 29 treasurers in the state by his colleagues as Treasurer of the Year, and so I think that means a lot, and that says a lot about the work that he does for his group and for his colleagues, and so I just want to say that. I also want to give a shout out to Tom. Tom's first words to me when we very first got into office is that he wasn't sure about me when we were on the campaign trail, but I'm grateful that I hopefully have proved him wrong, because throughout our time and discussions, he's always treated me as a respected and trusted colleague, and I really appreciate that. Tom's been a great mentor to me, and he's provided great perspective and opinions as we've been in meetings together, and I've really appreciated our time and our discussions together, and I'm really going to miss having him here. So thank you, Tom, and thank you for being a good friend and mentor.
Thank you. Allison, before you go, at the UAC meeting, who is the Auditor of the Year? Allison McCoy. Can we give her applause? Thank you. Okay.
I just want to let you know, I would have been Attorney of the Year, but every county attorney voted for themselves.
Is that what?
You only got to sway one of them.
So you only needed one more vote?
By one vote.
Score one first got brought in. There you go. Holly.
Holly Crowley, you guys know me, Tom, on behalf of the Republican Party of this county. And as the chair, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for running in the first place. Thank you for your thoughtful and very logical sense that you bring to the office. And that you're a leader, you're kind, you're sincere. A lot of our delegates look up to you, and they look to you, and as do I. And I appreciate the time and effort that you spend explaining things to those of us who, just don't get it. So I really wish the best for you and your beautiful wife, Liz, and I hope that whatever your next chapter is warm and sun and fun, and it fills your soul, and it fills your family, and that you're closer, and just, you deserve the best. And you've been a wonderful representative and a good friend, and I appreciate your honesty and the person that you are. And by the way, he's won a Nobel Prize, so does no one ever talk about that? He never talks about it, but he has. So I hope you know I tell everyone, which is why you probably have to explain it more than most people. So thank you for your service, sir, and I'm excited for your next chapter, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Holly.
Thank you. That'll bring us to next item on the agenda, minutes. That is December 6th, work and business meeting. Is there any additions, corrections? If not, the chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I've reviewed those minutes and believe they're representative of both the work meeting and the business meeting, so I would move that we approve both sets of minutes for the 6th of December.
I'll second that motion for the same reasons.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Tripp and a second from Councilman Hoffman. Any further discussions, comments? Seeing and hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor of accepting the December 6th work and business meetings, say aye. Aye. All those that may oppose, say nay. Sounds unanimous, Tracy. That brings us to the consent agenda, check registry. I'll turn some time over to Councilman Tripp.
We had a check register that went through December 8th. We expended $780,000, which is approximately an average week for us here in the county. The big checks for the period were $396,000 to Maxwell Equipment Company, which was doing runway repair at Wendover Airport. We spent $62,300 with Americom, which is the ongoing fiber optic project that we're funding out of ARPA funds here in the county. And we spent $58,700 with Javiation, also Wendover Airport work. And for anyone who's interested, the whole check register is online under the meeting materials for this meeting, and you can look at them, and there's certainly people who can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Council, any other comments? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Hear a motion from Councilman Thomas. Is there a second?
Second.
Hearing a second from Councilman Tripp. Any further discussions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those that may oppose, say nay. Sounds unanimous. That brings us down to contracts, and Aspen's not here, so I know that we discussed this in our work meeting. Come on up, Allison. Is there any, on the natural gas, is there any further discussions or questions that may arise during our break, council?
So the only modification is the time frame we have to pay, correct?
The time frame and that it has a firm end date for the contract.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Hoffman, is there a second?
I'll second.
Hearing a second from Councilman Tripp. Any further discussions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Sounds unanimous. That brings us down to line item transfers. And we're talking about the, I know it says Parks and Recreation. Allison, thank you. Is there any other comments or concerns or questions, council?
Make a motion that we transfer the money.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Wardle, is there a second?
I'll second. Looks like I'm doing all the work tonight, so I appreciate the opportunity to do it the last few times.
So, we're just letting you go out with.
Hearing a
Okay.
second from Councilman Tripp. Any further discussions or comments? I'll just make a comment that, thank you for making sure that we are able to get granular on the budget and seeing what expenditures are to which part of it. Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those may oppose, say nay. Sounds unanimous. That'll bring us down to resolutions and ordinances, adjusting the Tooele County budget. Is there any other comments or questions before I look for a motion to open up public hearing? If not, then I'd look for a motion to open up public hearing.
Go ahead, Tom.
Mr. Chairman, I move we open a public hearing to discuss the proposed budget amendments for the 2022 budget as presented in Resolution 2022-52.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Tripp, is there a second?
Second.
Hearing a second from Councilman Hoffman. All those in favor of opening up public hearing, say aye. Aye. All those may oppose. Public hearing is now open. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to the resolution for the Tooele County budget for the fiscal year of 2022, Resolution 52, which is adjusting that budget? I don't see any hands or comments. I would entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Hoffman to close and a second from Councilman Tripp. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye. Aye. All those may oppose. Sounds unanimous. Therefore, this chair would entertain a motion to approve or any motion for adjusting the Tooele County budget for 2022 fiscal year, Resolution 52.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve Resolution 2022-52, amending the Tooele County budget for the 2022 fiscal year.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Tripp to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Hearing a second from Councilman Wardle. Any further discussions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those may oppose, say nay. Sounds unanimous. Tracy. That brings us to the rezone of the 22.95 acres located in south of Tooele City. As from an RR5 to an MG. Trish.
Yeah, just real quick, just to recap for public. This is a rezone from RR5 to MG, just off of Old Bower Road. It's gonna be used, for a storage unit, just dry storage for RV and boats, stuff like that. And just real quick to reiterate that in our updated general plan of 2022, that area is proposed to be just general manufacturing in that area. So it should conform with all of our land use and our general plan.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Nope. Then this chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I propose that we adopt ordinance 2022-37, amending the Tooele County zoning from RR5 to M-G, comprising almost 23 acres located south of Tooele City near the landfill.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Tripp, is there a second?
Second.
Hearing a second from Councilman Thomas. Any further discussions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those that may oppose, say nay. Sounds unanimous. Thank you, Trish. That brings us up to number 8 on action items, fraud risk assessment, presented by Allison McCoy, our auditor. The auditor of the year, by the way. I have to throw that in when I can.
Council, just to recap on this, like I said, there's room for, in our work meeting, there's room for improvement. When we don't have a locally adopted policy, we default to the state policies, and so we want to look for opportunities to adopt policies on a local level. We are looking at a robust financial policy that we hope to have to you no later than second quarter of next year. Any questions?
Any questions for Allison?
No.
No? Thank you, Allison, and Chair, entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we recognize and accept the fraud risk assessment as presented by our Auditor of the Year, Allison McCoy.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Tripp, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Hearing a
So it
second
doesn't
from
die here in a
Councilman
second.
Hoffman. Any further discussions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. On boards and committees, I just want to make sure that audience knows, and anybody who entertains these records or looks past them, that the first meeting in January is a time that we'll appoint or make appointments for the boards where we have jurisdiction over. That will be after we have a new sworn in, a county councilman who is sitting back here, Eric Stromberg, where he'll have some input also. We expect you to have some input. How about that? So just knowledge there. Okay, council updates. Is there any updates? We have a few, but is there anything that we want to cover really quick? Councilman Tripp?
I attended a Utah Local Government Trust Board meeting this past week. They're not proposing any increase in the premiums that we are currently participating in. They did point out some interesting things. They had a 5-year trend of jury awards for various kinds of government liability. They've gone up by an order of magnitude in 5 years. What used to be a $2 million court award for damages in a liability, like a police liability, is now exceeding 25. So there's a lot of upward pressure for some of the liability. The trust is going to work hard to help that. I know they've instituted what they call the ABLE program, which is active bystander for law enforcement. So it'll help the police avoid some mistakes by participation of all the officers on the scene. But anyway, it's a good program, and that's going on. You know, I've heard a lot of kind words directed at me tonight, and they're certainly appreciated. And I can't hardly tell you how good of an experience it's been for me to be on the commission. We mentioned the infamous Nobel Peace Prize, and yeah, I was on a United Nations committee that got half of a Nobel Peace Prize, and there's 2,500 of us, so I got 2,500th of a half. But the experience of working with the people here on county staffs, the elected officials, and especially the members of this council has been a more rewarding and more memorable experience for me. I came into the position as almost a full-time employee, or pretty much a full-time employee, and there's a different rhythm in government, and I recognize that. I recognize it more than I did before. And government moves slowly sometimes, and that's necessarily a good thing, so precipitous problems aren't occurred. And you know, Scott mentioned we have debate, but the outcome of that debate is we never took it personal, and we didn't create animosity that would cloud judgment or cloud other things. And I trust you guys and have trusted you guys ever since I got to know you. You may not be right all the time, you know. Sometimes I would agree with you, but then I would both be wrong. But I trusted your intent, and I trust your capacity. And, you know, Kendall's been our conscience over here sometimes. And that's okay. We need a conscience. And we need the hardcore science guy, and we need the guy who's knowledgeable with money. And there's been a lot of experience that comes together, and you become a much greater whole by that combination. And as I came into this position, I knew that we were going to do a change of government. And I was a little worried about it. I was a little reluctant. And I was concerned about losses and gains. The gain is we have more voices and less chance to dominate one other voice and get the votes you need to do something that may not be appropriate. And so that's certainly a positive. But beyond that, as I sat and thought about it, when someone's elected, at least in part they're elected because they're popular. And just because you're elected and popular doesn't mean you can necessarily do the job of managing things. And I think in this change to having a appointed manager, the county was able to sift through a lot of people and find an able, capable, experienced manager that brought to the table experience that none of us had. None of the previous commissioners had 20 years of continuity in county management, and it's been a great get for the county and for the citizens. It creates some continuity in managing of departments. It'll increase accountability and has lots of advantages. And we found a capable manager, and we always joke with him. I was the guy that voted against Andy when it came down to the last two. So I was outvoted 4-1, and I'm so grateful because I think it was the right choice. So when we have a split vote, sometimes you have good consequences. I will certainly miss the relationships with you brethren, or gentlemen here on the council, with the electeds and the department heads. It's been a wonderful ride. I've got some other things I expect to do in the next few years, which will be good things for me and my family. But I'm not that far away. I'll probably have to drop by and visit you because I will miss you. And it's been a wonderful opportunity to serve with every one of you and see the talent that's here. And I came in with a great class of people when I got elected, so that was understand. And the other elected officials had lots of experience and had good integrity and kindly oriented me. The one thing that I think the council has to worry about is losing the profound understanding of the county. And it'll take some extra effort on the members of the council to maintain that. Kendall's got the couple of years of full-time that's helpful, but hopefully Andy and Brittany will make up the difference for what you don't catch on, or will train you along the way. So thank you for the opportunity to serve. It's been a pleasure to serve the public. I made some mistakes along the way, and I can recognize those, and you guys probably can too. But hopefully, overall, we did pretty good. So thank you so much for that. I'm done.
I want to alert Tom that once Eric Stromberg takes the oath of office, that'll end and then we have board appointments.
I think his ends officially.
We have board appointments that we know your name and where you live.
Okay. I've actually got my eye on one, so I'll put in.
Okay. Another update from the entire council. We have a preliminary report to deliver to you. I will read the introduction. I'll turn some time over to Councilman Tripp and then over to Councilman Wardle, so you don't have to listen to my voice all night. In this introduction, I hope it is self-explanatory, and if you have any other questions, you're welcome to reach out to the council. Tooele County citizens voted on November of 2018 to change the form of government from 3-member county commission to a 5-member council and full-time manager. The new council was sworn in on January 4th, 2021. Prior to and upon the swearing in of the county council members, citizens were inquiring about the sale and expenditures of the Utah Motorsports Campus. In May of 2021, the council was made aware of a decision against the county by a state records committee regarding records request about the track. The original grandma request made by Doug Sagers on November 5th, 2018 for records related to the Utah Motorsports Campus financial statements, budget, management agreements, leases, purchase orders, invoices for capital purchases, and contracts and agreements. On May 17th, 2019, the State Records Committee entered a decision against Tooele County and ordered the county to produce thus records. The county council sought to assent where the financial records for the Utah Motorsports campus were being held, and if the county had possession of the records. This led to a number of questions. What was the basis of the decision against the county? If the county did not possess the records, why were they not in the county's possession? How and from whom would the county get the financial records from? Was the county records and appeals ordinances followed, and if not, why? Commissioners Tom Tripp and Kendall Thomas made aware of this appeal after they were sworn into office. Did Commissioner Chairman Tripp not receive notice of the appeal? Who made the decision to deny the appeal? This is a preliminary report based upon records received and findings based upon records and information received prior to December 19, 2022. We will state the findings of our investigation as December 19, 2022 into the sale and expenditures of Utah Motorsports Campus, whether or not the county's purchase policies were followed. On the afternoon of December 20th, the county council received additional records which will be examined. We will also present our findings into the investigation of Doug Sager's records request into the subsequent sections of this report. Councilman Tripp.
I'm now going to read the findings of our investigation related to Utah Motorsports Campus expenditures and financial records and how they dealt with the county commission, how they dealt with by county commission management. Beginning in 2016 to 2018, Utah Motorsports Campus was a business enterprise of Tooele County. The management agreement allowed for a third party to manage the campus on behalf of the county and was subject to follow all county policies and ordinances, including GRAMA, procurement, and financial record policies. Commissioner Sean Milne had the motorsports track as part of his administrative assignments for the duration of the UMC management contracts. Tooele County failed to follow county policy for the retention and failed to be accountable repository for the keeping of the Utah Motorsports Campus financial records. The terms of the management agreement between Utah Motorsports Campus, Inc. and Tooele County were poorly designed, which led to unfavorable results for Tooele County. The purchase price was negatively affected by the management agreement, among other factors. Tooele County failed to follow its stated policies and procedures for approving disbursements. The county failed to maintain proper oversight of UMC. 2,526 out of 5,984 invoices failed to have the required commission signatures needed for the disbursement of the funds as per the county policy, for a total amount of $14,003,740. As a county commission, it is our opinion that there was gross mismanagement by the county commission as a result of not following the county's financial policies. The lack of oversight and financial mismanagement of the track and its operations has directly impacted the citizens of Tooele County in millions of dollars of lost revenue. Furthermore, it is our opinion that the county and state record retention policies were not followed regarding the Utah Motorsports Campus. The Tooele County Council has received more records as of December 20th, 2022, that's today, and will continue to investigate this matter.
Councilman Wardle.
My job is to read the executive summary of the findings against regarding our investigation about the decision against Tooele County Commission versus Doug Sagers and the county's denial of his records request. The Tooele County Clerk Auditor Office failed to follow county policy in the retention and as the repository of the records for Utah Motorsports Campus and the financial matters. Doug Sager's grandma request was legal, and the records request should have been supplied to him following the sale of the track in January of 2019. Tooele County's failure to follow the state of Utah's and its own records retention policy led to the unjust denial of the grandma request. Commissioner Sean Milne was the only commissioner who knew of Doug Sager's appeal to the county commission as of January 2019. Commissioner Sean Milne withheld Doug Sager's grandma appeal and all information regarding it from Chairman Tom Tripp and Commissioner Kendall Thomas. Commissioner Sean Milne then unilaterally made the decision to deny the Doug Sager's grandma appeal, violating Tooele County policy and procedures. In May of 2021, the Tooele County Council, which included Tom Tripp and Kendall Thomas, was made aware of Doug Sager's appeal to the State Records Committee and of its judgment and possible penalties against Tooele County, including the possible penalty of a $500 a day fine for every day the records request was not fulfilled. Tooele County is now in possession of many of the records of the motorsports campus and its financial documents. However, we were not able to obtain all expected documents during our investigation and received new documents as of today. In June and October of 2021, Tooele County sent all the records it could obtain to Doug Sagers, fulfilling his initial grandma request and meeting the requirements set forth in the order of the State Records Committee.
Thank you. And that's unanimously among the county council. With that update, we'll turn some time over to the county manager for some updates.
Just a couple quick things. As you know, a couple weeks ago, we had the presentation on Desert Peak, and we'd like to finalize that report. A concept was presented, so if you have any recommendations you'd like, or changes you'd like to make to the concept, let us know. We'll get those included in the final report. We have been working with our Parks and Recreation Director to work on highlighting the projects we'd like to start on. You funded money through the budget, and so we've been working with him to identify the projects we'd like to start with. We'll bring those back to you in January, so you can kind of give us your thumbs up on those projects, but we're working through to start working on making major improvements to Desert Peak. So if you can get that to me in the next week or so, by the end of the year, that would be much appreciated.
Will that be for our January 3rd meeting?
As soon as,
Or is it just?
if you can give me the information by the end of the year, we may have to get the report. If anything needs to change in the report, we'll have to get that back to them to have them finalize that. But we'll have some ideas on some of the things we'd like to start with, probably by the second meeting in January. We're already working on that. And just finally, related to Tom, your friendship has been greatly appreciated. And on behalf of the staff, I'd like to say thank you, because politicians don't get a great name a lot of times, but it's been great working with you. You've challenged us, which is great. We appreciate that. Insights and knowledge into county operations and county government it's been so helpful for me personally, and just having you next door was fun. I've learned a phrase I never thought I'd heard. How are you today? And you say, mostly good. So he's always said that, but I've never heard that before, something I'll always remember and think about you. And so it's been great having you close by to ask questions to and have answers. You have so much knowledge of what's going on throughout the state and in the county as well, and just we'll miss you and appreciate all that you've done. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. With that said, council, I would entertain a motion. There's no need to go into another.
There is. We've got to approve one thing in a closed session.
Then I'd entertain a motion to adjourn going into a closed session.
So moved.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Thomas, is there a second?
I'll second that one. I'll second that one.
Hearing a second from Councilman Tripp, all those in